Hi everyone, I'm Damlala. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'll be discussing how you can get your US B1 B2 visa on your first trial. Yes, on your first trial. You don't have to have traveled to the USA before, and you can be young and get your US visa. So I'll just be going through some tips, some of the questions that you'll be asked, documentation that you need, and some red flags. So very quickly, I'll start from the documentation you need. So when going for your visa interview, there are 4 very important documents that you must take along if you're applying in Nigeria. Without this document, you will not be interviewed. So the first one is your DS-160 form. So when you go online to apply, the form you fill is called a DS-160 form. When you finish filling that form, you'll see a confirmation page where you can print out. That document is extremely important. Another important document is your appointment confirmation. So your appointment confirmation shows you that, okay, for instance, if your interview date is July 25th, your appointment confirmation shows that, okay, Damilola is coming for an interview July 25th and all of that. It's a very important document. Another document, the third document, is your payment receipt. So the visa form costs $160, which is about 73,000 naira right now. So you must show that form, that receipt that shows that, okay, I have paid this money. Your name will be on the receipt. And lastly, most importantly, your international passport. Let me say this, your passport must have a validity of at least 6 months. So if you don't have up to 6 months on your passport, please, first thing you need to do is work on getting a new passport before going to apply for a visa. So I'll be talking about some questions that you will be asked. A lot of people say, oh, if you're young, if you've never traveled to the US before, if you're not going for a conference, you will never get a visa. All of these are myths. I applied to the US for vacation purposes. This is my first time applying and I got the visa. So I'll just be going through some of the questions that you'll be asked. So the first question you'll be asked is, have you traveled before? It's very important to have a bit of travel history. It will really help your profile. So it doesn't matter where you've gone, even if you've traveled within Africa, it doesn't matter. So it's important to try, if you haven't applied there, to try and build a travel history, try and build a profile. If you've also been to the UK before, it's a very big plus because it seems like the US and the UK, you know, are kind of like at par. So the next question they'll be asking you is, what is the purpose of your travel? Please go straight to the point. If you are going for holiday, tell them I'm going for holiday. If you are going for someone's wedding or a friend's graduation, whatever it is, just tell them why you are going. There was a guy I met at the visa interview. When they were interviewing him, they asked him, why are you traveling? He said, oh, I'm going to visit my cousin. No, my nephew. So if you look confused and you don't know why you are going, or you try to hesitate, they will do their best to confuse you more. So make sure that you have a reason for going. Then they will ask you, how long do you intend to spend in the US? Please be direct. Don't go there and start thinking maybe 1 month. No. If you want to spend 2 weeks, say it's 2 weeks. If it's 1 month, 1 month. You know, be direct about it. Also, if you're going to the US and you'll be visiting a family member, they will ask you about that family member or that friend you are visiting. There were quite a number of people that said, I'm visiting my brother, I'm visiting my son, this and that. Fine, no problem. Then they asked them, what does your son do in the US? Oh, he's a businessman. What business does he do? And you go quiet. You don't know the business that your son does. So if you're going to the US and you'll be staying with a family member, ensure that you know what that person does. Oh, my brother is a chartered accountant with blah, blah, blah. He does this, he does that. Be very clear. Let them know what the person is doing in the USA. And please don't write down names of people that are illegal immigrants in the US. If you have someone that is in the US illegally and you say, oh, this is the person I want to go and stay with, those people have records. They have a way of checking it, you know, and it might put you into trouble as well. Another question that you will be asked, have you been denied a visa before? There is no point lying. They can see everything on their screen already. If you've been denied a visa before, just tell them the truth. I've been denied a visa before. but it didn't hinder me, although that question never came up during my own interview. So another question they will be asking you, they want to know about your job, they want to know about your income. It's a very, very big plus for you to have a job and you're earning something. It means that you are a responsible person that can take care of yourself when you are in the US, and you also have plans to come back to Nigeria. So if they ask you, do you have a job? You tell them, yes, I have a job. This is where I work. I'm a this at that. I'm an engineer working with this company. Be very clear. They will also ask you, how many years have you worked? The higher the number of years you worked, the more advantage you're at, because they want to see people that are established somewhere. If you've worked at a place for less than a year, it means that, you know how most companies are in Nigeria, if you've worked for less than a year, you can't even get leave, to go on holiday. So if you've just been working at a place for a few months and you say you want to travel, it might spark some thoughts, and these people, their first thoughts about, people coming from Africa, unfortunately, is that you are traveling and you have no plans to come back because of the economic situation and all of that. So you have to show them that you are a responsible person, you have things going on for you in Nigeria. So your job is very important. Please let your employer write a letter for you if you're going. Let them write a letter that, oh, this person has been working for us for this number of years. He or she is a staff of this company. He or she is going on annual leave for blah, blah, blah. And then if they can even write the amount of money that you earn per year, that is also a plus. Another question that they might ask you, they want to know if you're married, if you're single. Honestly speaking, as a young person, if you are married, it's a plus, because they want to know that you have ties back in Nigeria. If you're not married, it's not a straight up denial, but they want you to prove more to them that, okay, if you go back, you have cause to come back. But if you're married, you have kids in Nigeria, your spouse is in Nigeria, they feel better, that you will come back to Nigeria. So I know a person also that was married and went for the interview, and then at her interview, she was asked if she was married. Yes, but at the time, her husband was in the US for a business meeting for about a month or so, and she told them that, of course, you don't need to lie, because they see everything on the screen. So they saw that her husband is currently in the US, and so the first thing they thought about was like, oh, she and her husband are trying to run away from Nigeria. What she should have done was to establish the fact that she has also strong ties in Nigeria. She has a good job, she has family, she has siblings, her parents, she's taking care of her parents in Nigeria, so there is no need for her, to travel and not come back. So yeah, those are some of the major questions that they will be asking you. They can also ask you, how much is your salary? Please, when you're filling your DS-160 form, these are all questions that will come up in your form. So make sure that everything on your DS-160 form is exactly what you will be saying on the day of the interview. Don't write on your DS-160 form that you earn 500,000 naira per month. On the day of the interview, now tell them that you earn 1 million naira per month. There is no balance. You will be denied. They also want to know where you will be staying in the US. If you don't have anywhere in mind already, start thinking about it. And if it means you have to cram somewhere in the USA, oh, I'm going to New York City, I'm going to San Francisco, I'm going to Texas, be clear on where you are going to. Don't start thinking, oh, if you're not sure, they will bounce you. Be confident, okay? Who is sponsoring your trip? Very important question. Make sure the person that is sponsoring your trip is in your home country, Nigeria. Who is sponsoring your trip? The best answer is, I will be sponsoring my trip myself. If you don't have enough money to sponsor your trip, make sure someone in Nigeria is sponsoring you. Probably your parents, your brother, your spouse, somebody. If you say, okay, for instance, you're going to visit your brother in the USA, and you say, oh, that my brother in the USA will sponsor me, you will be bounced, because they want to see money leaving Nigeria's economy into their own pockets. They don't want someone that is already there, to now start struggling to take care of you, taking money. You that is going there as a visitor, that person will now be trying to, use the money in the US, money that should be circulated and be used for better things in the US, to take good care of you. So make sure that your sponsor is coming from Nigeria. This was something I noticed at the interview, why a lot of older people were denied. You know, like grandmas and grandpas going abroad to visit their son who works in the US, you know, and all of that. And they get there and they ask you, oh, grandma, grandpa, who is sponsoring your trip? And they go, oh, my son in the US is going to sponsor my trip. Everybody that said that on that day were denied. One of the few older people that got her visa on that day was the woman that said, okay, yes, she's actually going abroad to see one of her children, but her son that works in Chevron Nigeria will be sponsoring her. That was literally the only woman, that was the only like old lady that was given a visa to travel on the tourism basis, you know, apart from other people that came for medical reasons and all of that. For everything you're doing, ensure you have documents to back it up. So if you are sponsoring yourself, they want to see your bank statement. How much will be in your bank statement? The money you need for your travel. So for instance, if the flight ticket is, return ticket is 1 million naira, money to take care of yourself, accommodation, shopping, whatever you want to do is about 500,000 naira. Your bank statement should show at least 1.5 million naira. You know, you shouldn't go there with a bank statement showing 200,000 naira. You will be bounced. Letter of introduction from your company if you work somewhere, very important. If you are a business person, make sure you come with your certificate of incorporation, your CAC document and all of that. They will ask you, when was your business established? They ask quite a number of people that were business people that day. Oh, I have a business. What year was your business established? What do you do? If you have your CAC papers, make sure you go with it. If you're married, there's no harm in taking a copy of your marriage certificate. Nobody expects you to book a flight, so all of that is not necessary. Mostly they want to talk to you. The people that they ask for documents, maybe 20% of people, and those are people that, you know, they were not convinced, they were just talking off point, and they just said, okay, let me just see your document to see if there is something substantial here. But I can assure you there's an 80% chance that nobody will ask you for documents. So what you say is the most important thing. Be clear, be concise. So what are some of the red flags? If you don't have a job, you don't have anything doing in Nigeria, is a very big red flag. It just shows that maybe you just want to japa and, you know, go and hustle abroad. So you must have something substantial doing, please. You must have ties to Nigeria. If it's a spouse, if it's a parent you are taking care of, if it's children, have spouse to Nigeria. Don't lie, please. Don't lie. This one is a very, you will be bounced. There was a man who was there in front of me. His interview was going well. He has a wife, he has children, they're in Nigeria and all of that. Going very fine. The consular officer was just pressing something on her laptop. She now said, where is your wife? The man said, my wife is in Nigeria. They said, no, your wife has been in the US. So they have all of those information. So the guy was just stuttering, he was like, yeah, she's in the US. They bounced him straight up. Someone that his interview was going well, and he lied that his wife was in Nigeria. Meanwhile, she's in the USA. Please don't lie. If you have plans to go and give birth, heavily pregnant women, most likely you will be denied because US is clamping down on birth tourism. So if you are going there with your heavy pregnancy and saying that, oh, I want to go for holiday, the first thing on their mind is this one is going to US to go and give birth so that a child can have US passport. So even if you are pregnant, please, maybe after you're giving birth, or if your tummy is not too big and not showing too much and you still look normal, that would be best. If you are heavily pregnant, you will most likely be denied. If you are going as a first timer, I would advise that if you're not going, probably if your company isn't sponsoring you, you have a conference or you are going together in a group based on company or business purposes. If you are applying with your whole family, maybe a young family and all of that, it's kind of a red flag because they would think everybody is trying to japa, leave Nigeria and go abroad. So I would advise, apply yourself first, you know, put your best foot forward. After you've gotten, if your spouse wants to apply, then he can come, then you can come with your children. A lot of people that came with their families were denied. 90% of people that came with their families were denied. Husband, wife, 4 children, and all of those. Those people will act as if they are nice, they will welcome you well, ask you questions. After a few minutes, they'll just tell you, so sorry, you are not eligible for this visa. So I think that's it. You just need to be you just need to be confident. Know what you are going for. Have documents to back everything you'll be saying up. Make sure that you have something doing in Nigeria. Have a job or have a business that is thriving, that is doing well, you know. And wherever it is that you are going to, make sure you have a plan there. If you're saying you're going for vacation in New York, what exactly are you going to be doing in New York? They can ask you. Can say, oh, I want to see the Statue of Liberty. I want to go shopping. I want to attend Fashion Week, something like that. Just know you have a plan and all of that. I think with this point, you will be able to ace your visa interview. It's very possible for you to get your visa on the first trial. You don't have to be denied. Make sure you subscribe, like this video, subscribe. Thank you very much. Bye.